Throw the whole jury away. Throw them away. I hope y'all are ready for my reaction to Poland's entry for Eurovision 2023. I got a new video. Alesia Michelle.
Hey girl.
I'm ready to go.
How you feeling?
Eurovision fan. Are you ready for the show? Hey, if you've never been in my channel before, welcome. If you love the Eurovision Song Contest, you're going to love my channel. It's just Eurovision content all day, every day. Now, I apologize for looking so crazy. It's a Sunday afternoon for me. A Sunday afternoon. You know, that's my day to lounge, relax. And I'm sitting in my house. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to have this wonderful afternoon programming of, Poland's national selection, which let me start off by saying, the television production was amazing. The graphics were good. I love the little intros for the artists and the way that they let the stage look. I mean, this is the way you want to introduce your artist to the Eurovision audience. So I really, really do want to say that I think that the overall production was beautiful. And I mean, look, there are some national selections that have tons of quality that don't give us such a slick, television production. I'm not saying it's necessary, but it definitely makes the viewing experience a little bit more fun, a little bit more enjoyable. So, I'm kicking off this reaction saying I know what won because I watched the national selection. And you know what? Let's just hop into this reaction. I'll share my thoughts. If you were following me on Twitter, which if you're not following me on Twitter, you should, because we can just have conversations there. You already know some of my thoughts, but we're really going to deep dive into it because I was watching it in my living room. My ex was there, my child was there, and I just want to say, my ex had some thoughts. So I will share some of the thoughts that my ex had as he was just kind of passively watching the performances. All right, let's get into this reaction. Play. Okay, Blanka solo after we had slow-mo last year. Now, I do think this staging is very nice. It feels professional, feels slick. Now, the vocal is not starting off in the way that we want our vocal to start off, aka confident and precise. And part of it, I think, is because she doesn't know the art of working a microphone. So, I've got a standing microphone, so this is a little bit different. But when you're singing, you want to know when to pull away and when to hold it close, and she should work on that. Because it makes her sound worse than what she actually sounds. So watching this, my ex was like, oh, I know what this girl is trying to be like. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, Dua Lipa? He was like, no, the girl with the ponytail. So Ariana Grande. Yeah, this song is, it's a bop. It's giving warm weather. Yeah, it's giving warm weather. Yeah, she's got to work on this vocal, and she only has 4 dancers, so maybe we need to have our backing vocals turned up a little bit more, so then it just is a little bit cleaner, because since you're allowed to have them, might as well go on and use them. It's just so weird to me, because, Poland wouldn't let Margaret go to Eurovision. But, fast forward a couple of years and this gets to go to Eurovision. I mean, and Cool Me Down, I still listen to. I think I like her styling, but it is very Ariana Grande. And maybe that's intentional. I think I do like the styling of the dancers. I mean, all in all, this is a very cute performance. I just don't know how this won the jury. I don't know how this won the jury. I mean, I thought what was his name? Kuba? I thought Kuba was better. If we were doing pop, I think Kuba's was better than this one. She got some little pyro at the end. Okay, girl. Well, it's me, so let's just kick it off and talk about the styling. I think I would change her clothes. I think I would change Blanka's clothes. I didn't hate what the dancers had on. I think we could keep the outfits that the dancers had, but I do think she might want to maybe consider like some elevated styling, maybe, and definitely some elevated hair. The makeup looked cute. She looked beautiful. But I think the hair I would change because it is giving a little bit like Ariana, except without the vocals. You know what I mean? So it just the look, but I mean, other girls are doing that, but it felt very Ariana. Like after my ex mentioned it, I was like, oh, I can't unsee it. Like I get what you're saying. So yeah, I think I would amp up her styling, but I'm cool with keeping our dancers in what they're wearing. Let's talk about the staging. I mean, I think this was a great television production. I like the fact that that it looked like something a little bit easier to transport to the Eurovision stage. You know, some national selections, it's like, okay, just ignore this because, like, you know that this is going to be completely different once we get to the big stage. But this, I feel like there are elements we could keep. I don't mind having her name in lights so then people really remember, like, you can't forget it was Blanka. We knew it was her. I liked sort of the Caribbean feel of the trees, the palm trees and everything. And the contrast of that and sort of, I guess, the white or maybe pale pink that she was wearing and the pop of pink of the dancers. I thought that the color scheme made sense. Let's talk about the vocal. If you're going to have a handheld mic, you got to be really careful because she definitely wasn't trained with the mic. So if I were her, I might just give her, like a portable mic. I would probably just give her one of those. The song is not vocally challenging. There's no real vocal moment. So there really is no excuse for there to be a bum note. So she could maybe even amp up her choreo if she'd like, because, I mean, you gotta give us something. Let's just overall talk about the national selection. Poland, I didn't want to be having this conversation with you all this year. I really, really didn't want to have this talk. And I know y'all don't want to have this conversation with me. I know you're heartbroken too, right? I shouldn't even say heartbroken, because y'all hyped up Jan's song too much, in my opinion. I think y'all hyped it up too much. But I still was like, of this national selection, to me going into, like, I guess the voting sequence, I was like Dominic and Jan. Those are the two options. But then after watching the recap, I was like, oh, I guess I could give it up to Cuba. I guess I could give it up to Cuba because in the recap, I was like, oh, I feel better about this. And maybe I didn't feel as positive about it in the moment when I first saw it because I was just like, oh, there's going to be something better. So I might have been more critical of it because I just was like, oh, this is it. Like, there will be something better. But I think that Cuba's performance holistically was a little bit better than Blanka's. Is that crazy to say? I don't know. Like, that might feel crazy to say. But honestly, I was just like Dominic and Jan, meaning Jann, not the other one. There was like, I think just a Jan with the song Champions. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Jan, who Gladiator. So Dominic and Jan Gladiator, to me, were the options. The very clear options for Eurovision. Once the jury voted, like, were people still able to call in after the jury voted? Because after the jury voted, I would have just been like, well, dang, let me put my phone down for Jan because maybe he doesn't have a shot. Let me just really make sure that Dominic has what he needs. Because I'll tell you this, Dominic, I think, could have qualified at Eurovision. Jan obviously would have qualified. Blanka, I don't think this is qualifying. And I'm worried because there are no juries. There's only televoters. And if we think about the trends, and I said this early on when we had the announcement of it being 100% televoting semis, I was like, you know, if that's going to be the world that we're living in, you have to look at what the televote has sort of been rewarding. And they've been rewarding ethnic. They've been rewarding out of the box. I think historically speaking at Eurovision, you know, maybe something a little controversial. And I sort of said, I was like, anything that's just like a pure pop song without a really, really strong hook and onstage performance, I would be worried for. Now, talking about semifinal 2, we already got Denmark, Riley. So here's the thing. Riley has that whole mobilization of all those K-poppers that are going to come out for him. But I also think that his song is a little bit better than whatever the song is. Solo. Yeah, I think Breaking My Heart is a little bit better. And Denmark does do a relatively good job of staging. They play it safe, but I think Denmark is gonna amp up the staging a little bit. Poland is in the second half though, so maybe it could be more memorable. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, Poland. This sucks, right? Because even though I didn't think that Gladiator, because I'll say this, the live performance wasn't perfect. Like, to be fair, like Gladiator wasn't perfect, but we got a couple of months. We could have made it perfect by the time we got to Liverpool. So I'm not worried about that. Like, I don't know if I would have had him alone on the stage, but if we were going to have him alone on the stage, all we would need is like really good tight camera angles and creating kind of like what Finland is doing, where it's like these moments where you see Karja, like we could have just recreated, like, and Poland could have done that with him. And with Dominic, the song was a little bit Mumford & Sons, to be fair, but it was well sung. He was a good looking guy. We kind of keep our narrative of the band, of the battle of the bands. And I feel like his version of what he was giving with his band is very different from Australia, very different from Slovenia. So we could have had all three. We could have had Dominic. We could have had Voyager. And we damn sure know we're going to have Joker out. So I don't think Blanka, this is not a bad performance. But I don't know, y'all. Because we already got Armenia Brunette in the mix. Even though that's first half, my itch is that Armenia might be coming with some smoke, some heat. And then we know Georgia has that former junior winner. And I think she's in, the second half of semifinal too. So I think she's gonna give. And even though Albina and her family are doing something totally different, Albina is gonna gobble up vocally Blanka. Oh, Poland. Maybe I should have waited to record this reaction. Like, maybe I'm too reactive right now, and maybe after a week it's like, okay, this isn't bad. Like, it's pure pop, it's something fun. Like, I'm not saying that it's awful. The dismay you hear in my voice and the disappointment that you hear in my voice is just because Poland, with Jan, I think we could have been talking top 10 at the grand final. And now I'm having a conversation of, will it qualify? That's the only thing. And I mean, I really think Dominic could have qualified. Again, yes, it was Mumford & Sons, but we're not getting that sound at Eurovision this year. We're not even getting anything, well, as of now, we don't know what the Netherlands is going to pull out. But we're not really getting anything like kind of that folky, wink to country nod right now. And that song was good. I liked that. I would have listened to that. So I just think it's just challenging. I don't want it to seem like because I'm not like ragging on it. I really am not. There are good elements of this. There are elements of this that we'll want to be feeling come, May. But it's just hard when you have to frame the conversation with what could have been. Well, that was my reaction. What do you think? Drop down and talk to me in the comments below. Do you agree with my reaction? Talk to me in the comments below. Do you disagree? That's okay too. Talk to me in the comments below. This is a conversation. And you know what? I'm so excited for Eurovision 2023. Don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe. If you love Eurovision, you love having conversations like this, you gotta subscribe. You don't want to miss a thing. I got interviews and everything coming up. So yeah, keep it locked here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.